You are listening once again to the We Are West Ham podcast with me, Will Pugh, and my mate James Jones. It has been a while since we spoke to you. There has been more talks ongoing among the We Are West Ham hierarchy than there has this summer among the West Ham United hierarchy as far as transfers go. Wheelings and dealings, it has all been going on. Nothing quite at the stage where we can announce it yet, but just like in the Premier League and European football, our deadline day window shuts on September the 1st, but we are back. Thank you so much for all your messages over the summer, even those of you going, where the hell are you? We miss you. Very nice sentiment indeed. I'm Will Pugh. James Jones is back. Jonesy, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. It's good to be back. I've missed it. Really, I've missed you. I've missed this.
I don't know what I believe less.
I mean, I could be lying about it all, to be fair.
Yeah, I miss talking about West Ham. Don't believe you. You miss me. Don't believe you.
Yeah, guilty. I'm lying about it. I'm gutted.
I've missed none of it.
Yeah. No, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. I'm looking forward to the big kickoff at the weekend. Another season of disappointment beckons, I'm sure. And I'm looking forward to spending the next 9 months having a moan about it, which is what we tend to be doing these days.
Yeah. I don't know. Should I describe the feeling, Jonesy? Because if I'm honest, if people haven't noticed at home already, obviously you are listening to the We Are West Ham podcast. It's got historically mixed reviews, but it's sort of a bit of a trademark now. So love it or hate it, you kind of just got to stick with it. Answer me honestly, though. No, hang on. Sorry. First of all, what my point was, that the sort of big opening, as much as a bit of a nod to the historic haters of the You Are Listening opening, I sort of also thought if I just speak really loudly and really excitedly, no one will be able to tell that I've got an enormous knot in my stomach of dread about having to watch West Ham again for 9 months from this weekend. I had a lot of messages over the summer, and I'm not even joking, just people going, Will, seriously, mate, like, please carry on. I could hear it in your voice. I could tell something had sort of, like died for you a little bit. And as we all know, that was the case. That was part of the reason that Jonesy and I had a bit of an extended break, just to sort of get our heads right, get out of our system a little bit. But we are back. Jonesy, just answer me honestly then, because it's been a while. Obviously, we've spoken and we've met up and stuff, but it has been a while since we logged in to StreamYard and hit enter studio. James is waiting for you. Just describe to me honestly the feeling you had in your stomach when you were clicking into it again. No, we've got 9 months ahead of us.
It was a feeling, it was a cocktail of dread, excitement, apprehension. The three key feelings that I had.
If I didn't like you so much, I wouldn't bother, because I like talking to you. You are a laugh. Well, beyond that,
do you know what was quite refreshing? You and I met for some drinks, didn't we, about 3 or 4 weeks ago in Cambridge?
Yeah.
And it only dawned on me the following day that we spent 3 hours together, and not once did we speak. I don't think you even mentioned the word West Ham or even the We Are West Ham podcast for about 2 or 3 hours that we were together. Yeah. And that was so refreshing that we just sat there and spoke about life and all the problems it brings.
Well, that's the funny thing. We would let's be honest. We won't go into too much detail, but we were covering some pretty deep stuff. I think it's fair to say. And despite the content and the matter that we in which we were discussing, and the heavy nature of it, it was still more cheery than talking about West Ham.
Yeah, because before then, at that point, there was a hell of a lot of dread, more dread than there is now, about the season to come. We hadn't signed a player at that point. I don't think we hadn't made a signing.
No.
I don't think Kudus had gone to Tottenham at that point either. So, it was kind of like, part of me did think it was refreshing, but at the same time, I'm glad we didn't, because it would have made the conversation far more depressing than it actually was.
Than it already was. Yeah, exactly that, mate. Yeah. So just to let everyone know, don't forget you can still follow us on socials at @WeAre_West Ham on Twitter. We are West Ham Pod on Instagram. It's been a while since I could remember all of this stuff. You can email us at wearewesthampod@gmail.com if you want, and you can become a Patreon at patreon.com/wearewesthampod or We Are West Ham Podcast. It has been a while. I think if you search We Are West Ham Podcast on Patreon, it comes up. But yeah, you can subscribe. Thanks so much to all of you. Really big thanks to all of you, by the way, who stuck with us over the summer. We told you we were going to have a break. It ended up being a little bit longer than we thought. Rest assured, there have been extensive talks going on in the background. Like I say, unfortunately, we weren't able to wrap those up before the season started, but hopefully some exciting announcements to come in the coming weeks on the We Are West Ham podcast. But yeah, we are back. We are back, whether for better or worse, in sickness and in health, until death us do part, which, if this season is anything like last season, maybe sooner than you all think. Jonesy, we've just to let everyone know, coming up on the show tonight, you and I are going to have a chat a bit about the summer in a little bit, the signings we've made, and our predictions for the season coming up. Would tell us who we're going to speak to from a Sunderland perspective ahead of Saturday afternoon's trip to newly promoted Sunderland, fresh off the back of them signing King Arthur Masuaku.
So, quite embarrassingly, I've forgotten the name of his podcast, so that will be revealed later.
Horrendous. You booked it.
I booked it, and I was on his podcast. I was on his podcast yesterday.
Awful.
It's embarrassing. We're colleagues as well as fellow podcasters.
Brilliant.
But
maybe he work for you.
No, he works for he works in sport, but on a different site that I don't manage at work. But Graham Falk is coming on. To talk Sunderland.
I hope Graham Falk doesn't listen to this first little intro. He'll be highly offended.
Yeah, and Graham, if you do listen to the beginning of this, I'm going to tell him not to, but if you do, then I apologise. I've literally, as I'm doing this, I've just sent him a message going, "What's your podcast, mate?"
What's your name?
I've forgotten. It's a really terrible start. But
what a start to the season, Jonesy, straight off the bat.
That's why that was never my job, was to book the Oppo views.
This much is true, mate.
Most of the time, I had no idea I was booking.
Oh, quite. Well, Graham Falk's coming on to chat Sunderland later on. And me and Jones are going to have a chat about all the things I just mentioned. I hope all of you have had a good summer. Hope you're doing well. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep up the speaking with high energy. I'm doing that thing, James, I think, where honestly, I said this to you last season, right? Actually, I'll tell you what. Right, we'll do a break here because Alex can put a little, just a little break in, and then we're going to try this season and make these things a little bit more structured. So let's practice episode 1. That's the intro. Section 1 coming up before we chat to Graham Falk, the Sunderland fan. Right, James, I did that thing, and I know we were speaking about it at the end of last season, and sort of joking aside for a minute, upbeatness aside, and I know we spoke about it at length last season, and that didn't really change over the summer. It's the closest I've ever been for, as far as I can remember, really, for as long as I can remember, to not renewing my ticket this year. I left it till literally the deadline day. And if I'm honest, mate, the only thing that clinched it, which I've had a few messages about, which I may have mentioned at the end of last season, there's a couple of things that clinched it. One of them was the Tottenham home game at the end of last season, where the game was obviously absolutely abject, didn't matter at all. But I had a brilliant day. Went with my dad, met your brother before. Did I meet you before, or were you lost in translation that day? I certainly met your brother and a couple of his mates. A few of my friends showed up, had a couple of beers before, went and watched the game, absolutely abject, had a laugh. Met some friends afterwards, a few more beers, more of a laugh, went and had something to eat, had a bit of a chat about life with my dad. And then at the end of that, because he was the same as me, just didn't know what to do. And at the end of that, it was like, well, if it's nothing else, it's this. And it's easy to make that decision in the summer, isn't it? I think if the winter bits were either end of the season, if the season started in the winter, went through the summer and then finished in the winter, I think it'd be a totally different conversation, because the season starts when the sun's out, finishes when the sun's out. It's kind of easy. It's the bit in the middle that that's always a bit grim. And I was just like, all right, well, that's what West Ham is for me now. And do I value that time and being able to see you? You know, you and I wouldn't see each other as much. I certainly wouldn't spend as much time with my dad. Some other friends who I only see at football, obviously got very good friends with like your group of friends now as well, which is nice. And it's that camaraderie. So I end up doing it for that, really. And it's really sad for me, because as everyone knows, the 3 or 4 years like prior to that under David Moyes, and when we were in Europe in particular, were some of the greatest days of my life. They really, really were. So I think I'm always going to have that disappointment that West Ham, I can't see from a football perspective them being like that anymore. But I don't know, it sort of kind of represents something else now. So begrudgingly, on the last day of the season ticket renewal deadline, I coughed up my £792, including £2 booking fee. Even that, just call it £790, lads. Take the £2 out of your, like, you take 788, you pay Ticketmaster the £2. It's like absolutely unnecessary. That's 100 grand Ticketmaster will get from that. 50,000 season tickets. £2
Do you know
each.
what really, really annoys me about that, where they pass on the commission to the person buying the products, is that the money that both companies involved in that transaction are we're not multi-billion-dollar company, but we're
David Sullivan's a multi-billion.
Yeah, and you've got Ticketmaster, multi-billion-dollar company, and it's just like, hang on, but then you're charging working class people 790 quid and then whack another £2 on just for the crack. It's like, come on, guys. Like, you can afford to cough that up yourself. Like, you shouldn't be passing £2 on to someone. Like, it's just.
Mate, this isn't for me to get into like microeconomics about the amount you notice, right? The amount of things, the amount of massive companies who tap into our earnings every month just with tiny little bits. You pay Apple Music $9.99, pay Netflix £7, pay £2 for Ticketmaster, you pay £4 for your parking. Honestly, mate, hundreds of thousands of pounds a year. But this isn't the time or the forum for my economic analysis. Talk me through your renewal process, your summer. Any sort of thoughts and feelings before we look forward?
I think I've said it before. Like, it's always a very easy decision for me. We could be in League One, League Two, and I'd still renew. And the reason for that is, one, I've many years now, I've accepted and come to terms with the fact that the club's got me by the proverbials, and it always will do. And two, I like just having that option there, even if I can't be bothered to go, which is very rare, to be fair.
I must admit.
But even if I can't be bothered, if that changes at the last minute, I can still go. It's not like, I haven't bought a ticket and then I decide I want to get a ticket and it's sold out. Like, I've got that option. I've got that luxury of just going whenever I want or whenever I don't want.
And it's that to me at the end of last season, and that swayed me a bit.
And then three, it's the social aspects. I've said it before. The opportunity to meet up with the boys before the game, after the game, a day out with the lads, a couple of times a month is, it's the social side of it for me, and that's worth the additional £2 that I pay on top of my season ticket, if I'm honest.
The additional £2 to Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. It's not worth the 790, but it's worth the extra £2.
No, to be honest, no. But it's for me. It's just, every summer it comes around to it, and I always say, I'm not going to renew. I've seen a video of a West Ham YouTuber. He's put a video with 5 reasons why he's not renewed, and in my head, I'm just like, why does anyone care why you haven't renewed? Quite frankly, like, that's your decision.
I wouldn't be going in 2-footed on content creators expressing benign opinions.
But it's just like in my head, I'm just like, it's come just at the time when the season's begun to start. And in my head, I'm just like, look, if you haven't renewed, you've got your reasons, and that's absolutely fine. And if you have renewed, you've got your reasons.
Stop sharing.
I'm just like, I think just the whole, I don't know. I'm not going to go into it, but
I sort of want you to, because I feel like it might be one of the most hypocritical statements from anyone ever.
I don't want. Yeah, actually, to be fair, you're right. Yeah. I don't know what my original point was going to be, but
no, go on, give it to us. You don't like it when it was a West Ham YouTuber saying these are the 5 reasons I haven't renewed. It's like, why do we care that you haven't renewed just before the season? Blah blah blah. I feel like you're going to say something along the lines of keep your opinions to yourself. Don't feel the need to put them out on the internet.
No, but I think the whole subject around why I haven't renewed my West Ham season ticket has grown quite repetitive and a little bit like.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because everyone has the same reasons. Oh, the football's rubbish.
The football's rubbish. The stadium's naffy.
Oh, the stadium's rubbish. Oh, the David Moyes is no longer our manager.
That's just me, mate. I'm the only
that's just you, to be fair. Yeah, and it's just like, oh, we sold Kudus to Tottenham for 55 million.
Good riddance. That's one of the reasons I renewed.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll get onto it. Like, I just think that unless you've got unless it's like I couldn't renew because I lost my job and I've got no money or something like that, and it's like, all right, fair enough. But to not renew your season ticket just because you're unhappy about the style of football, for me, is a bit like, what? Have we suddenly stopped playing like 1970s Brazil, which we've been playing for the last 30 years, and now you're a little bit unhappy that we're no longer playing like that? Like, nothing's changed in terms of style. Like, it's technically the same. It's technically the same. The only massive difference at West Ham is the stadium, which quite frankly isn't as tragic as people make it out to be, and the badge.
Yeah, it's overall enjoyment levels, isn't it? I suppose, towards which style of play, stadium, green, red stop-start signs outside the stadium, atmosphere, badge, etc., are all contributing factors, I suppose. But I do sort of agree that we've done it quite a lot.
I agree.
Come on in, James. Talk to me about the summer transfers. Kudus left for Tottenham. Don't care, if I'm honest. Good riddance. Glad they've got him. He's going to be rubbish. Signings, incomings. Diouf looks okay. You also went to the friendly at the weekend. What do you want to talk to me about first? Why don't we do signings first?
Okay, we go signings first. I was going to touch on Kudus first, but we can leave that to the end.
Go, yeah, he sort of counts.
Go Kudus.
Transfers.
Well, I saw a lot of complaining about the transfer fee, and obviously it's annoying that he's gone to Tottenham. You don't want to sell to Tottenham. That's fair.
I'm glad, because I think he'll do rubbish, but yeah.
But yeah, like judging by his pre-season, he already has done rubbish. To be fair, I've heard some very, very bad things about his performances. With 55 million quid for a player that scored 3 goals and got 5 assists last season. Forget his first season. His first season. His value isn't from 2 seasons ago. His value is from the season that's just happened.
Yeah.
And we've just got 55 million quid for a player that did nothing last season. Correct. He was non-existent.
Yes.
One of those 3 goals came on the last game of the season against an already relegated team.
Correct.
So, like, the only reason why people are a little bit annoyed that it's only 55 million is because his release clause was overinflated at 85 million. He's not worth 85 million quid.
No.
Never.
No.
Never.
No, he's worth as much as someone's willing to pay.
So I think it's a good deal for West Ham. I think and I think I tweeted it at the time, and I got a lot of stick from Spurs fans, which I loved, by the way. I think I said we've had Tottenham's pants down there. We've had them we've had like 55 million quid's an absolutely cracking bit of business for us.
Yeah.
See you later, mate. Ta-da.
Yeah.
We move on.
Yeah, we move. Yeah, precisely. No, I couldn't agree more. Echo every single word of that. Honestly, I can't. There's so much of that at West Ham, isn't there? Right, among fans, I find, of a player shows flashes of brilliance once or for a while, and then that's it. Then fans cannot escape that. They cannot accept that player being criticised or having a bad game. Like, they're physically incapable of. It's always someone else's fault. I feel like there's this weird thing where fans are like absolutely find it impossible. Like, obviously I bang on about Ben Rama a lot, but it was exactly that. He's sort of like, fans were just constantly seeing stuff that just wasn't there. And I think exactly the same applies to Kudus, especially last season. He had a good year, so people are constantly just assuming he's still good.
Yeah.
And whenever it would go wrong, it was someone else's fault. The man was our second or third highest earner last season, 140 grand a week. Lucas Paqueta had stuff going on. Obviously, he's now been cleared of all of those betting charges, but he had that hanging over him, which was clearly affecting his performances. Only Jared Bowen, of our senior, well-paid, top-tier players, stepped up. All right, maybe Wan-Bissaka. I'm not getting into the hammer of the year thing again and the fallacy that was. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka maybe, but Jared Bowen, only player of that top tier of earners who stepped up and earned their money and then some last season. Meanwhile, Mohammed Kudus floating around the pitch. All he does is pick the ball up, dribble, pass it. No, all right, yeah, you've lost it. Dribble, repeat, wash, rinse and repeat times 1,000 million times across the season. Not good enough. Let all of us down last season. Think of how many 790 quids he was getting a week from all of our money to do absolutely nothing. He should have stepped up when the going got tough, and he was nowhere near it.
So should have passed £2 onto him for every season ticket.
Mate, exactly. Or for every goal or assist. Should have I'd have given him 790 quid. I wouldn't be that much poorer than I am now. So yeah, good riddance to Kudus. Signings, Jonesy. The youth looks okay. Nicholas Fulkrug, I'm quite excited to see him this season. Talk to me about West Ham signings.
Yeah, I'm quite excited about Malik Diouf. He's a player that can play wing back and as a winger, which is interesting. And his delivery is unbelievable. I don't know if you saw his two balls against Bournemouth.
Well, that's you've watched the summer series, haven't you? That's what you've done, and you've saying, and now his delivery is amazing.
And the YouTube compilation, mate. Chill out. I watched him live, mate. I watched him live at the London Stadium at the weekend against Champions League team Lille, and he was
fine.
He's 20 years old. He's still got a lot to learn. He's got a lot of improvements to make, but I think he's a very exciting signing.
Young Masuaku.
Better than that, mate. Come on. I just think it's a good signing. The fact he's 20, he's got a lot of years ahead of him. He's quick. He can cross a ball, and he's by all means he looks delighted to be here. So
he does, yeah. I mean, he's cut from the same cloth, and by that I mean come from the same club as Vladimir Sufal and Thomas Souček in Slavia Prague, of course. So if our recent sort of track record of buying players from those clubs is anything to go by, he's going to be an absolute West Ham cult hero and remembered forever within about 6 months. Yep,
and I'm up for that. I'm all for it. Big Malik. Love it.
Right, Callum Wilson, Kyle Walker-Peters, Mads Hermansson, the goalkeeper, which is the most recent one signed from Leicester City, John Clare Todibo, and I saw today that West Ham are in for Matthias Fernandez from Southampton as well. All of those, if I'm honest, stink to me. Southampton went down. Walker-Peters and Fernandez. Mads Hermansson went down with Leicester. And then Callum Wilson, I don't think that's as bad of a deal initially as everyone was willing to make out, given that I understand his contract, his basic salary is like 10 grand a week or something wild. So unlike Danny Ings, the new Danny Ings, as many have labelled him, who was on just a whopping great contract with loads of it as sort of bog standard wages. Callum Wilson, on a very, very low basic wage, and he'll only earn like a Premier League striker. If he scores goals and plays games and performs ultimately for West Ham United. So I don't hate that as much. But which one of those? We obviously, Todibo's deal was made permanent much earlier in the window. Which one do you want to talk about?
To be fair, there's not a great deal to say about Walker-Peters. I think it's just like it's a good freebie to have. We've not spent any money on him. No. He can play left or right side of defence. He's just a solid Premier League player.
Hey, they're just they're such we're finishing 12 signings, aren't they? So
and then like the Callum Wilson thing, like the guy's literally made a career out of scoring against us. So the fact he can't do that this season is a bonus.
So even if he doesn't score for us,
that's fine. And like. Other than that, he has spent the last 2 years on a podcast with Mikel Antonio taking the mick. and
I hope he
disrespecting
hasn't
the
been
club.
taking tips.
Don't know, but
Just being a striker from Antonio.
yeah, true. That said, if he can stay fit, I think he's an half decent backup to have. The only concern for me is that he's going to be a backup to Fulcrook, who could potentially be injury prone. Although he's had a fantastic pre-season, and he's been the centrepiece of West Ham's social media activity all summer.
Really
he's been the main character, and it's been great. It's been fantastic to watch. And then Mads Hermansen, by all accounts, he's a brilliant goalkeeper. But it's very difficult to accept that when he was the goalkeeper of a team that got relegated last year. But apparently, it does appear that the new goalkeeping coach was with him at Brøndby, I think.
Right.
And we've appointed the goalkeeper coach to come in, and he's gone, "I'll make Mads, plays for Leicester. I coached him at Brøndby. He's a good keeper. Bring him in." And I think that's why that's happened. But he made the most. People are going, "Oh, he made the most saves in the Premier League last year." Well, yeah, but probably because the team that he got relegated with conceded the most shots.
Conceded 1,000 shots a game.
Yeah. So that's why he made the most saves, is because he was playing for a team that conceded a lot of shots. But I don't know enough about him to go, that's a great signing. I don't think it's a terrible signing, but it does sound like, judging by Graham Potter's comments about the signing on the official website, he specifically said that he had great distribution, which Areola does not have. It tells me that and the fact he's got the number one shirt tells me that he is straight into the starting 11 this weekend, which would be quite harsh on Areola, because he played every game of pre-season, and then it's like, yeah, bye-bye. See you later, mate, you're on the bench.
Yeah, but, I mean, he was absolutely minging against Man United, wasn't he? I think it's funny with Areola, shame or funny, whatever. It's disappointing, I suppose, really. I really sensed that once Fabianski left, that he was going to kick on and be like, right, bosh, this is my number one spot. You know, now I'm playing week in, week out. I'm really going to sort of flourish and thrive. And he just hasn't got any better, is he? He's just sort of stagnated a bit. And he's
got a better hairstyle, though, to be fair. Have you seen his mullet this summer?
Yeah,
wonderful. What a do. Love it.
All right, James, talk to me then about the Lille game at the weekend. A glorious win in the inaugural Boyle Sports Cup. Maybe we've put the Betway Cup hoodoo behind us, because we made an absolute nose up of winning our own pre-season tournament for the majority of times in which we played in it, and the majority of times we played in it, they were one game. The Boyle Sports Cup, West Ham beat Lille on penalties after 2-2 draw. You were there, I wasn't. Talk to me.
Well, I missed both the goals in a 1-1 draw. We went up early for a half-time beer.
You were with your son, man.
Yeah, but he needed a wee, so we were like, I should just go and grab a beer as well. So, and he wanted to play Minecraft on his tablet, so we were like, perfect opportunity, right? Yeah. And then we left early because Harrison wanted to leave, and we held the Raw for Fulcrook's goal.
The Raw.
So we missed both goals, which was a little bit frustrating, but overall the performance was okay. Midfield is still a huge worry, which is probably worry after Fernandez from Southampton, because it's just painfully lacking any kind of creativity or pace or anything really. It's just hasn't got a lot of imagination about it. Paqueta, I was really looking forward to seeing play this season, given that he's got a new lease of life after the being cleared, and I thought he's almost going to be like a new signing, because last year it was clearly affecting him.
Yeah,
and he was back to his usual self. 1 minute he's unbelievable, next minute he's trying stupid flicks in dangerous areas and giving the ball away and doing silly stuff.
Backs in his own box.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of those things where he did it, and I had to stop myself from getting angry. I had to remind myself it's only a friendly, doesn't matter. But he's just done that, and it's annoyed me. But overall, it was an okay performance. It had that very obvious pre-season feel about it. There was, both teams really lacked any kind of intensity. The best thing about it, which I missed because it was a goal, was probably Olivier Giroud's finish. Right. What a goal that was, by the way. Yeah. And the one thing that shocked me was that Olivier Giroud was even on the pitch, because up until we got the notification while we were outside having a beer that he'd scored, didn't even know he was on the pitch. Didn't even know he played for them, which is weird. Yeah.
But LAFC, wasn't it? He left
something like that. Yeah. So it was an okay performance, and for me, having seen sort of bits of pre-season and watched some of the summer series and kind of seen what kind of got an idea of what Graham Potter's trying to do with the five at the back, I'm a little bit more optimistic about the season than I was maybe 2 months ago.
Well, I'm going to use this opportunity. Go on, James. Sorry, go on.
But there's still a load to do, mate. We need another striker. We need a young striker. We can't go into another season relying on 30-year-olds to score goals. And we need a midfielder with a little bit of creativity and a little bit of pace and a little bit of imagination. Beyond that, I think we're okay in other areas. Maybe another, maybe another centre back just to add because he's going to be playing 3 centre backs every game. It looks like. Yeah, we've only got 4. I think we probably need another one because we're West Ham. We players get injured a lot, so we're going. In likelihood is it will be one of our centre backs. So
beyond the spine of our team, we're all right.
Yes, beyond the spine, we're okay. I mean, all the players that are in that starting 11 and sort of a handful of subs, it's a decent side. We have got the fact that Fulcrook's in form is encouraging. We can't rely on him.
It's encouraging. I do really.
It's the equivalent of Mikel Antonio banging in form in pre-season and going, brilliant, Mickey's in form, and then he's out for 4 months of the season because he's done his hamstring again, and so we have to expect Fulcrook to pick up an injury, as sad as it may sound. But there's a lot of encouraging things about pre-season for me. But we've got a lot of work to do between now and the end of the month.
Well, I'm just going to use this opportunity before James and I have a chat about what to expect going forward for the season and the game against Sunderland on the weekend and beyond that, of course, to remind everyone that at this stage last year, James was looking down his nose at me scornfully, full of positivity and optimism about the Julian Lopetegui era, and was in fact one of the last people in West Ham spheres to finally hold up the white flag and say it was time for him to go. So if you listen to this podcast wanting to hear people who are likely to be right but not necessarily cheerful and optimistic, you're in the right place and your team will Pugh. But if you want blind optimism based on absolutely no stats or intuition, then you're also in the right place. But it'll be a bit more cheery. Stay with us because we have a look ahead to the Sunderland game and the season beyond next. Right, coming in, Jonesy. We're wrapping up our first podcast of the season. I'm doing my loud, excitable voice to mask the feelings of fear and dread that I feel about watching West Ham for another 9 or 10 months or whatever. If I even make it that long, mate, who knows if I'll get that far. But it's nice to chat to you again. Nice to be back on the podcast. Nice to upload some content once again, get ourselves back out in the mixer, get people start piling in the comments for better or for worse. Coming in, Sunderland, obviously Saturday. We've got the opposition view with Graham from WTF Sunderland later this week, which will be out probably. So for the Patreons, you'll probably get that on Thursday, I think. And for everyone else, it will be Friday ahead of that game on Saturday. Don't forget, if you do want all of these podcasts that we do, the reaction shows and the opposition views a day earlier than everyone else, you can subscribe at patreon.com/wearewesthampodcast. James, talk to me very briefly about Sunderland first, because we'll chat to Graham about that later this week. But then I just want to hear your genuine expectations for the season. Well, hang on. Right. Okay. Right, hang on. Let me be James Jones. Right. Ready? Listen, we'll do each other. Right. We'll do a swap.
Here we go.
Well, look, I think I've seen some positive signs from Graham Potter. We're obviously not the finished article just yet, but we've made some good signings. We put last season behind us, and I think top our finish, knocking on the door of Europe, and a good run in the cups.
Oh my God! Is that? I don't sound like that. I find that very offensive, actually.
Which is most accurate, the impression or the predictions?
Neither. To be fair, I'm offended. The impression was terrible. I'm not going to do a voice for you.
You're not going to do a voice for me?
Nah, but right, here we go.
So what are my predictions then?
we're gonna lose every game 4-0 probably, maybe 5. I've had enough of all the players. The manager can do one, the owner can do one, the stadium can get in the bin, the beer can get in the bin. I just want to see my mates. I just want to see my mates at the weekend. I just want to have a beer with you. I want to have a beer with my dad. I don't want to watch the football because we're going to get relegated. We're going to go down. We're going to lose to Sunderland 9-0 probably. Masuaku's going to score 8. I've just had enough. I'm sick of it. But I just renewed my season ticket because I quite enjoy it going sometimes as well. So yeah, no, I'm dreading this season. I'm really dreading it. I just want David Moyes back. I want him back. Bring David Moyes back. If David Moyes was our manager, we'd be going into this game at Sunderland away on the first game of the new season going, yeah, we're going to win this 4-5-0 probably. 5 counter-attacking goals. Jared Bowen's going to score all of them. But instead, Graham Potter's our manager. I've had enough. We're going to lose. We're getting relegated. Can't wait to be in the Championship.
Oh, dear, that was pretty good, actually. Yeah. I mean, the prediction, spot on. Impression, they're not a million miles off either. Yeah. What do you actually think?
What do I actually think? Well, if you'd have asked me this 2 months ago, I would have gone, I am concerned about the situation at the club regarding the whole, we've got to sell to buy. A lot of players apparently wanted to leave and are going to leave. And it was a little bit like, this is not a good situation to be in. But now, I know we've already touched on the signings, and yes, there is an element of underwhelm about them. Is that a word? I think we've had that conversation a couple of years ago about whether it's underwhelming.
Noses up on the analogy.
Yeah, it's the signings have been underwhelming in like not terrible, but I think we were half expecting maybe a little bit more quality by this stage. We might still get it. We don't know. But having seen some pre-season, some of the form, some of the way that we've been playing, and the fact that the squad isn't as thin as I was expecting it to be at this stage, I don't think we will be in a relegation battle. That said, I don't think, unless we pull a couple of mad signings out of the bag between now and the 1st of September, I see no reason to believe that we're going to be anywhere near 9th. Maybe I think at the moment we're lining ourselves up for a classic 11th or 12th place finish, where there was just absolutely no jeopardy at any point in the season. We won't go on a mad run of results, run of wins, and we won't go on a mad run of defeats. It will just be, we'll win one, we'll win another one, then we'll lose one, then we'll lose one, then we'll draw a couple, then we'll win one, then we'll lose one, then we'll win one, then we'll draw one. And it will just be picking up points just slowly throughout the season. There'll be one mad win against the top 6 club, which no one saw coming. Against, we've just lost 2 in a row, 3 in a row, and then we go and beat Tottenham and then Chelsea or something. Yeah. But other than that, it's going to be a little bit like, whatever.
I'm not sure if you're still doing an impression of me or not.
No, but the thing is, part of me is like, that's kind of what we need this season. We can't have another season where we're looking at.
No,
listen. We can't have another season where we're like, we could go down, and then the manager could get sacked because we might go down, and then we sack Graham Potter at Christmas, and then we start it all over again. Yeah. And it's like
time next August.
Instead, let's just have it. Like, we can't expect Graham Potter to pull up trees after one summer.
No.
So, effectively, the way I say it is what we need is like, okay, just have a season where there's no jeopardy, there's no risk of even getting sacked. Like, we finish 11th or 12th, and it's like, right, there's your foundation. We've built the foundation, and now we can go into another summer. He can spend another summer building his team up to play the way he wants, to fit the right players and the right holes in his squad, and then we go again next season. We have to be in a situation where it's genuinely a process and not a sprint where we're like, we've got a new manager, he's got to get us into Europe immediately, otherwise he's got to go. Like, we had that under David Moyes, and it was great, it was wonderful, and it was beautiful, and it was magical, and like, we pine for those days again. You even pine for the manager.
I pine for them all the time.
But like, it's just unlikely that it's going to happen, so we have to be realistic.
Everton will get in Europe this year.
One way it doesn't happen is if we sack him this season because we go on a bad run of results and we're 15th at Christmas. Like, we have to actually trust the process. I hate that term, but we genuinely have to do it. So that's why I'm like, if you finish 11th, like, is what it is. Like, I'm not that negative about it. It's just like, okay, as long as there is no point in the season where I'm worried that we're going to get relegated, because I'm sick of that feeling. I'm going, not again. There is a genuine chance this could happen. And
I don't, mate. I think exactly what you said. Another season of existing is what I think. West Ham will still exist at the end of the season. And I think cut 12 months' time. To be honest, that's kind of what you were saying about Lopetegui, right? I was joking earlier on. It was all like trust the process, blah, blah, blah. I do think there's a bit of pressure on Graham Potter, mate, to be honest. I think last season people kind of give him a little bit of a... There were questions raised at the end of the season. I think people kind of go, all right, not your players. Club spent a load of money on, on the word of a bloke who looked like he'd never managed a football team before in his life. And you sort of inherited a terrible situation, confidence low, morale on the floor, players, being played totally out of position, fair enough. He had a while. It weren't weeks, it was sort of months, but it's difficult to get stuff in and do it quickly over the season. You hope over the summer he's had more of a chance to do that. And obviously West Ham's board, I don't think they can be hugely criticised, if I'm honest. I know people love to do it. I don't think they can, because they spent £160 million last summer. The Declan Rice money was obviously having an impact PSR-wise at that stage, as in we were in a position to be able to do that. And we've absolutely nosed it. We've technically spent 40 million quid on Todibo, which everyone forgets. We sort of we absolutely nosed it last summer with the hiring of Lopetegui, and left ourselves in a precarious position whereby, all right, we've got a new manager now, but we can't really back him. I do fear another year of just existing. James, just a couple of messages. Don't forget, as I've mentioned already, do get all of your messages, comments and all that in on all of our social media platforms, particularly on patreon.com/WeAreWestHam podcast. Jim Odie, just seen James, this was today actually, James, just seen James's article on the BBC and agree that there is cautious optimism. Definitely need a centre midfielder and a striker, but the signs are definitely looking a lot more positive, and Fulkrug looks to be in good form. Paul on Patreon as well. Fulkrug is looking good. He showed good glimpses when fit last year, but a severe lack of depth behind him if he gets injured is a concern. If Bowen goes up front, then it leaves our wings depleted. I'm happy with the centre mid more than I am with the attacking depth, to be fair. Totally forgetting about Callum Wilson there. It seems JDD, Hermanson in. Happy we've got our goalkeeper, and it seems like he's going to be the first choice. Ariola has his qualities and brilliant games under the belt with Moyes. But good Lord, it's nice to see Mads in the door. Feel like Fabianski could have played at the top forever, or at least 2 more years. Links with Raheem Sterling. James, quickly. Morris and Paul having a chat about that. Ben Orr getting stuck in as well. All the regulars over on Patreon there. James, just quickly before we sign off, Raheem Sterling, fancy it, or is that such a the ultimate West Ham signing?
Similar to the Grealish links. I know he's just signed for Everton, to be fair, but I feel like he spent his entire career playing for a top 6 club, which he played Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and now Arsenal. And all the pressures that go with playing clubs
and QPR
like that. Oh, and QPR as well. But that was obviously when he was a youngster.
Yeah,
Premier League. So he didn't play in the Premier League for QPR. But
don't know, maybe not. Yeah, go on. Doesn't
matter.
But
I feel like if he were to go to, say, Tottenham, I don't think that would be a good move for him. But if he were to come to a club like West Ham, where there's pressure, there's always pressure at West Ham, but there's not as much pressure. I feel like that could be a good move for him. The problem is that it's going to cost us an arm and a leg because he's on a big old whack, isn't he? So
yeah, for me, £100,000 a week.
Yeah, and I'm just not too sure whether I'm keen on that. Just purely for the wages.
One of them. But anyone who takes him off Chelsea's books will just be taking some of his wages off. They won't be paying all of them.
Yeah, that's because the concern is that if you did agree to pay all of his wages, then immediately you go into a dressing room and a lot of people are looking at him like,
they wouldn't do that, would they?
Sorry. Like if it's like, we'll give him £100,000 a week or something, it's like, okay, fair enough. I'll pay a third of his wages, go on then, we'll do it. But
James, you know what? I'm going to end on a positive. I've been speaking with high energy throughout the podcast tonight in the hope it masks how depressed I'm feeling about the season ahead. One thing I am extraordinarily excited about is watching Crescencio Somerville play football this season. I think he looked so good when he burst through at West Ham. I was really gutted when he got an injury. He was one of the few bright lights when he did play. He picked up the ball. He was positive. He ran at players. He tried to make stuff happen, which was absolutely brilliant, rather than just all that mundane passing football. It never looked like we were going to do anything unless Jared Bowen was involved. I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. I'm really looking forward to seeing Fulkrug play. And I think, as far as that goes, going forward, I'm excited, and I really hope it works out for them three, because I think Somerville is just a better version. Somerville's basically, I think, what Benrahma was supposed to be. I really like the look of Fulkrug. I think he's a 25 Germany caps, played for Borussia Dortmund. He's a proper centre forward. He looks absolutely like shredded to within an inch of his life after a pre-season. You're right. West Ham social media have been like bigging him up. He's obviously a big character in the dressing room. Absolutely mad by all accounts, but I do feel positive about that. Super Thomas Souček, won't hear any slander about him. Whether or not he fits into a Graham Potter side or not, I'm not sure, but I think he's one of those players who will make room for him. Lucas Paqueta, I'm desperate for him to sort of bit of payback, really, to be honest, because West Ham stood by him, and all right, the move to Man City was on, but West Ham were nothing to do with, Lucas Paqueta's been totally cleared of all charges worth adding, but West Ham had nothing to do with any of it, right? And neither did the fans. He still pulled in his 145 grand a week the entire time, and his performances were subpar for what we know he can do. And I think fans were just about like, all right, fine, we'll let you off because we know you're going through a lot. Kudus, less so. There's less sympathy there. But now's the time, Lucas, to show us how grateful you are for the fans and the club. Like you said in your statement, words are easy, actions are where it matters, mate. And then, I'm quite looking forward to watching us play five at the back again, because that'll obviously remind me of the Moisaya. But there you go, Jonesy. What a positive way with which to finish the first podcast of the season. What do you think about that then?
Unbelievable. For a minute, I forgot that it was you speaking. I thought it was me. Unbelievable.
Oh dear. Listen, thanks so much for listening or watching, everyone. Don't forget, if you watch this on a podcast, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, or even better, subscribe to patreon.com/wearewestham podcast. If you do that, as I've said already, you get all the podcasts a day before everyone else, and there's no adverts in them, so you can't ask more than that. It's only a couple of quid a month. And it's a real big support to me and James as we keep this going for yet another season. All those days, if any of you have been with us since then, the Love Sport radio days, it started as a live radio show all those years ago in Southwark. And we will have hopefully some exciting updates for you over the next couple of weeks. Just involving a few bits and pieces and how the We Are West Ham content offering for the season might look a little different. But for now, it will be the same old content you used to, unfortunately. But me and James are back. You'll have the opposition view with Graham from WTF Sunderland later this week. We kick off the Premier League campaign against Sunderland on Saturday, and we start it all over again. Thanks very much for listening, everyone. Follow us, subscribe, get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. We'll try and read out any questions or comments on the podcast next week, when we'll be reacting to the first Premier League game of the season. Thanks very much for listening or watching, everyone. Enjoy your week, and we'll chat to you later on this week with the opposition view.